Hello students, this is Dr. Day and today we are going to talk about the male accessory organs. Now if you remember, we had talked about internal accessory organs and external accessory organs. So what are they? Let's see. If you remember from the seminiferous tubules, we had come where? To the straight tubules, to the rete testes, ductus efferens, and finally this was the rete testes and this was the ductus efferens, and it empties out into the epididymis. So outside the testes starts the internal accessory organs, and the first one we are seeing is epididymis. So here it includes the head, body, tail. So it very tightly called tube, about 6 meters long and connected to the ducts, and it curves up to form what? The ductus deferens. All right. Now the inner surface is lined by pseudo-stratified columnar cells with non-motile cilia. All right, important. And the sperm cells that reach here are still not motile. All right, and they're actually pushed towards the ductus deferens by contraction of the epididymis. Here there are the smooth muscle layer. All right, so all right, the ductus deferens, the second one, is also lined by pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and the lining have this plus smooth muscles, because still they have to push these sperms through, push the sperms up. Now if you notice that the ductus deferens, the sperms have to not only go up the ductus deferens and around here. All right, so they have to go behind the bladder. So from the testes, they go through the spermatic cord, abdominal cavity, over the pubis, into the pelvic cavity, around and top behind the bladder. Long journey, long journey. I'm telling you this because the next slide is going to be important. All right, so here, the first one, this will then narrow and merge with the seminal vesicle. So seminal vesicle is a gland right here. All right, and this vas deferens will end up into the ampulla. So from the at the ampulla, the seminal vesicle is also going to join, and you can see here is the ejaculatory duct, and finally they will join together and form the urethra. Now the seminal vesicle is gland number 1. You have to know this, and it's important, and it secretes what? Alkaline substance. All right. Now it also contains, now why is the alkaline substance important? Keep in mind that the sperms have swum up. All right, they have been pushed up. So remember what happens when you exert, when you use up energy. So here what happens is that lactic acid or acid will be produced. You need to be, the sperms need to be in an alkaline environment, otherwise they will die. All right, so the alkaline substance will protect the sperm cells from the acidic condition. All right, so it also contains what? Fructose and prostaglandin. Now fructose is for what? Fructose is for the ATP generation. Prostaglandin is going to signal the muscular contraction of the female reproductive organ. So this you're getting ready for the female tract. All right, so the ductus deferens and the seminal vesicle will merge to form what? Ejaculatory duct that will extend behind the what? Prostate gland. Now they will merge and they will form the urethra. So the urethra is also coming. The ductus deferens is also joining, merge the ejaculatory duct, and they will form the common or the spongy urethra. The prostate gland is gland number 2. You have to also know this. All right. So, you know how they say that Mother Nature has created perfect beings? Well, here is an imperfection. The urethra finally passes through the prostate and goes out, right? But with age, the prostate gland is going to enlarge. And that's when the problem will start, because then it'll start squeezing the urethra. So often, older men will have to have surgery to cut or decrease the prostate gland, because here what happens is the gland will enlarge and put a pressure on the urethra. All right. So it produces a milky white fluid. And what does it contain? It contains citrate. Important, you have to know this. It contains enzymes, hyaluronidase, phosphatase, and fibrolysin. All these three will help the sperm penetrate to reach the egg. All right. And also it produces the prostate specific antigen. The prostate specific antigen is usually the one that is tested to find if you have prostate issues. Because if this PSA level is very high, that means what happens is you are having some kind of prostate cancer, or you're having prostate issues. All right. So they will release the secretions into the urethra, and this will combine with those in the ejaculatory duct. So you understand this, right? All right, let's move on. The third gland is the bulbourethral gland. Remember, all these three glands are going to be important. This is also called the Cowper's gland, and what they will produce is it'll secrete lubricant. So now finally, what does the semen contain? The semen contains sperm cell plus secretion of the seminal vesicle, prostate, and bulbourethral gland. It is obviously alkaline. You need this alkaline environment to maintain the sperms, and especially this is going to happen when the sperms are going to enter the female tract. The female tract is going to be acidic, so you need to have an alkaline environment. The sperm cells are going to undergo capacitation. What is capacitation? So here what happens is that they are going to weaken the acrosomal membrane. Remember, the sperm has a head, a midpiece, and a tail. So here the acrosomal membrane is going to weaken. That means the fluid is ready to come out, and it is absolutely required for the penetration of the sperm to fertilize the egg. All right. Excuse me. All right, so the external reproductive organ now is, of course, the scrotal sac. And here this is important, the dartos muscle. All right, so the dartos muscle is the one that is going to, when it is exposed to the cold, it will contract. And the scrotal sacs are going to withdraw inwards towards the abdominal cavity. And when it is warm, then the dartos muscles, they will relax. And so what happens is that the testes are going to be away from the abdominal tract in a cooler environment. You understand that? If what happens is this would not happen, then the scrotal sacs, the testes, would be exposed to higher abdominal cavity temperatures, and the sperms would die. All right. So you know what the penis is. It will carry the urine as well as semen. And there are 3 cylinders of erectile muscles, 2 dorsal and 1 ventral. And it is covered by tunica albuginea. So as you can see, there's a tunica albuginea. Now the male reproductive organ also has if you go on the inner side, beneath the tunica albuginea, you will see that there are 2 particular muscles, the corpus spongiosum and the corpus cavernosum. Okay, so the corpus cavernosa, there are 2 of them, and they are the erectile tissues. All right, and the spongiosum, which contains actually the urethra, is the one which is more sensitive tissue, right? And finally, we come across the erection. And for erection, neurons have to release nitric oxide, which will dilate the arteries. And then there is the emission, that is the emission and the ejaculation of the sperms. And for this, you need stimulation of the sympathetic nervous system, and then the ejaculation. All right. So, which is just the ejection of the sperms. All right, so I think with this we come to the end of our presentation, and I thank you for listening to me. If there are questions or concerns, please reach out to me. Thank you. Have a good day.